Hi everyone, and welcome to the Holy Cross YouTube premiere tour. If you're watching this while it premieres, be sure to ask any questions or concerns of myself, Eduardo, and Brianna in the chat. My name is Beth Griffin, and I'm a senior music and history double major here at Holy Cross, and I'm so excited to show you a little bit more about Holy Cross. We're going to start in Fenwick and O'Kane, where I'll speak a little bit about academics. Then we'll move to the Brooks Concert Hall, the St. Joseph Memorial Chapel, and Campion to talk a little bit about arts, faith, and mission. Then I'll pass it off to my friend Eduardo, where he'll speak to you a little bit about student life and housing here at Holy Cross. Then he'll pass it off to Brianna, where she'll talk to you about wellness and dining options. I'm so excited to show you one of my favorite places. Holy Cross is a small Jesuit liberal arts undergraduate college founded in 1843 in Worcester, Massachusetts. Of the 28 Jesuit colleges and universities in the United States, Holy Cross is the only one that's exclusively undergraduate. So what does that mean for our students? Most importantly, it means our students have unprecedented access to their professors. Some of my favorite experiences at Holy Cross have been getting to know and building relationships with my professors, since the student to faculty ratio is only 10-1. I built a really great relationship with my history advisor, Professor Bazaz, and ended up taking a class that I probably wouldn't have taken otherwise, except that she was teaching it, and I was willing to take anything she would teach. Students typically come into contact with their advisors through their first-year advisor. Since all students come into Holy Cross undeclared, every student is assigned a random first-year advisor who's particularly dedicated to making sure that they find their place at Holy Cross. With over 40 majors, an option for a self-design major, and interdisciplinary study constantly encouraged, Holy Cross students have plenty of options available to them. They just have to find the right one. One of my favorite memories is as a first-year student testing out the music major because I wasn't totally sure it was for me. I spent a lot of time with Professor Jascott, who taught my Music Theory 1 class, trying to figure out if this was the right path for me. He was really helpful, and I ended up deciding it was for me, and now being a music major is one of my favorite aspects of being at Holy Cross. As a liberal arts institution, Holy Cross has 12 common area requirements. These aren't core requirements or specific classes that each student has to take. Rather, they're area requirements, so students have to take a class in a specific area or discipline. For example, this semester I'm taking Music and the Jesuits with Professor DiCenzo, and it's helping to fulfill my religious studies requirement. I'm really enjoying getting to know a little bit more about the Jesuits, their mission, and how they used music to forward their mission. Speaking of music, let's head inside to the Brooks Concert Hall, where I'll speak to you a little bit more about arts at Holy Cross. Welcome to Brooks Concert Hall. As a music major, this is one of my favorite spaces on campus, and I have so many fond memories of sitting in this hall and listening to different performances with my friends, as well as performing as part of the orchestra and jazz ensembles here on campus. In 2022, the college will open the Pryor Performing Arts Center, a new performing arts center with a 400-seat theater as well as a 200-seat flexible theater space, in addition to state-of-the-art studios, classroom space, and the new location for the Cantor Art Gallery. Also on campus for arts is our Millard Visual Arts Center, which has studio space for a variety of visual arts, including sculpture and painting. We also have in Fenwick the Fenwick Theater, as well as the Pit, which are two interactive theater spaces for students on campus. Now we're heading into St. Joseph's Memorial Chapel, where we'll learn a little bit more about faith and mission. Welcome to the St. Joseph Memorial Chapel. The Jesuit tradition is part of what makes Holy Cross unique as an undergraduate institution. Holy Cross is Jesuit and inclusive of all religious identities and faith traditions. We have a strong, vibrant Catholic community here on campus, which includes daily Mass, Sunday Mass, and confession available to all students. One does not have to be Catholic to go to Holy Cross, though. Mass is not required, although the chapel is an excellent space for contemplative reflection, and most of our retreats are based in the Ignatian Jesuit tradition. One doesn't necessarily have to be Catholic, though, in order to embody the mission of being people for and with others and committing your life to service. The chapel is also an excellent space for our annual Christmas concert, Lessons and Carols, which is held here every year and is one of my favorite places and memories on campus. We also use this space for orchestra and choir concerts and try to take advantage of the beautiful organ here. Underneath the main chapel space is the McCooey and Mary chapels, which we use for some of our smaller faith services, as well as every year the Multi-Faith Day of Prayer, which is held each year at the end of January. Now I'm heading over to Campion House to show you all a little bit more about service and mission here at the college. One of my favorite aspects of the Holy Cross mission is its commitment to service. Our largest student organization is Student Programs for Urban Development, better known as SPUD. Over 50 years old, SPUD is a broad umbrella organization for all of the volunteer sites in the Worcester community. SPUD, which is run out of the Chaplains Office, works to match different Worcester nonprofits and organizations with Holy Cross students who are ready, eager, and willing to volunteer in the community. For example, I volunteered each year at Holy Cross at Nativity School, Worcester, where each week I tutor the same 5th grade student and help him with any aspect of his homework. It really is one of my favorite hours every week because I get to build a relationship with him and his friends. Another really great program that the Chaplains Office runs is the Spring Break Immersion Program. Each spring break, Holy Cross sends over 300 students to different sites around the United States for a fully immersive service and learning experience. I've really enjoyed getting to know different members of the Holy Cross community, as well as members of a new community that I didn't even know existed. It's truly been one of my favorite experiences, and I've built bonds that will last a lifetime. Campion House, which is right behind me, is the home of the Chaplains Office. One of our oldest buildings on campus, Campion House looks like a house inside. Campion also has a student volunteer who bakes cookies every single day, so there's always a warm cookie and a cup of tea waiting for you inside whenever you go in. It really does feel like a home and makes Holy Cross feel like a home away from home. Another really great advantage that the Chaplains Office has in terms of locations is the Joyce Contemplative Center. The Joyce Contemplative Center is our new retreat house located in West Boylston, Massachusetts. Even though it's located off campus, it's only 15 minutes away, but feels like a world away, and is an excellent opportunity for students to really get away and reflect. The Chaplains Office runs various retreats, all rooted in the Ignatian tradition and open to students of all faith backgrounds. I've enjoyed getting to go on the first year retreat as well as the sophomore retreat, and many of my friends have made the spiritual exercises, the 5-day silent retreat based on the exercises by St. Ignatius of Loyola. I'm really looking forward to getting back to the Joyce Contemplative Center soon, hopefully on an alum retreat. Behind me you can see Hanselman Hall, which is one of our Easy Street residence halls. I'm going to pass it off to Eduardo to talk to you a little bit about student life, residence life, and housing here at the college. I hope you enjoy the rest of the tour.
Thanks, Beth, for passing it off. Hi, everybody. My name is Eduardo. I'm a junior here at the college studying psychology with a concentration in Latin America, Latinx, and Caribbean studies. Apart from being a tour guide here on the campus, I'm also the co-chair for the Latin American Student Organization. I'm a part of the Student Program for Urban Development and Community-Based Learning. If you guys have any questions throughout the premiere of this tour, I will be in the chat answering your questions live. So now let's take a look inside of one of our first year residence halls. All residence halls here on campus have a swipe system, so all students must use their student ID in order to access the building. The floors are separated, but the buildings are co-ed. As you can see, all of the furniture inside of this room is provided by the college, and roommate selection is random. But let's say you do have a friend that you want to room with before coming here to the Hill, you'll be able to request each other on the online portal, and more likely than not, you will be placed together as roommates. Apart from that, all of the students are put into their residence dorms through a selection process we also have here called Montserrat. So the Montserrat program is an entire year-long seminar that all first years have to take a part of, but that program has literally solidified some of my best friendships that I've had here on this campus. I really enjoyed that program personally as a first year because it really helped create a sense of community, just friendship, and really just helped break the ice with a lot of the other first years here on campus. The other thing is that Holy Cross also does have a housekeeping staff that helps maintain the public bathrooms here, helps take out your garbage, will provide you with a vacuum if you have rug in your dorm. Some of the upperclassmen here, as you become an upperclassman, you'll have more access to suite style living and apartment style living. So now we're just gonna go outside and take a look at the hovel and talk a little bit more about student life and student resources. So now we're walking through the hovel, where as you can see, students just love to come out here and enjoy the beautiful weather, hang out with friends, and even get some work done. Holy Cross has over 100 recognized student organizations here on campus. Me personally, I'm a part of the Holy Cross Latin American Student Organization, and our main responsibility here on campus is just to put on events for students to just create a bigger sense of community and just come together all and just have fun. Inside of the Hogan Campus Center, you'll find the Office of Student Involvement, which is the office that all of our 100+ RSOs run out of. And you'll also find the Campus Activities Board, which actually brings food trucks here on weekends sometimes right here on the Hovel for students to enjoy completely for free. They put on one of the most fun student weekends here on campus called Spring Weekend. Spring Weekend, they love to bring in artists and just basically hold a huge concert for the entire Holy Cross community. I was lucky enough to be able to see Loud Luxury and Jay Sean live at Spring Weekend through the Campus Activities Board and just enjoy a full weekend of fun right before spring semester finals. So now we can head inside to the Hogan Campus Center and just take a look around inside. So this is the first floor of the Hogan Campus Center. Right behind me we have Cool Beans, our main coffee shop for students here on campus. And right next to that we have the lobby shop, which is basically the equivalent of like a smaller CVS where they can have over-the-counter medicines, drinks, there's a candy bar in there, and stuff like that. Through the double elevators over here, which we'll make our way to over right now, you'll find the Office of Multicultural Education. The Office of Multicultural Education is here to support and educate our students on anything from diversity to inclusion. So yeah. Over here on this side, we have the Holy Cross Bookstore, which is home to all of the Holy Cross apparel here on campus. The cool thing about our bookstore is there's actually an online portal set up where students can go in, choose the classes they're taking with the professor they're taking, and the portal will automatically generate all of the textbooks needed for the students for that semester. And you can go ahead and purchase it right here through our bookstore. And you don't even have to order them from online. You could just come the day before classes, pick them up, and you're all set. So now we can head upstairs and talk a little bit more about Holy Cross students' resources that are available to all of us. As we're heading upstairs, we're gonna be passing the Holy Cross Post Office, in which students are given a PO box at the beginning of their 4 years, and that PO box stays the same throughout all 4 years that you're here as a student at Holy Cross. So let's head upstairs and look at some more resources. Now we're on the second level of the Hogan Campus Center, where the Center for Career Development is located. The Center for Career Development helps students get their resumes approved, their cover letters approved, and even set up mock interview trials. The Center for Career Development also has a special program where students can go during winter break to shadow an alumni of the college in their profession, basically to just help solidify that what they want to do post-grad is what they want to do post-grad. I was actually able to partake in this program in which I was able to go to New Jersey and shadow a Superior Court judge there, and it really did help me solidify, what I wanted to do post-grad. The alumni network here at Holy Cross is one of the best throughout the country. The alumni really love supporting students, just help get internships, jobs post-grad, and just overall being there for moral support. Now we can head upstairs. And now we just want to talk a little bit more about where Holy Cross is located. Holy Cross is located in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is the second largest city in New England, which means there's plenty for our students to do off campus. We have the Worcester Art Museum that's free for all Holy Cross students with their IDs. We have the Worcester DCU Center for Concerts, the Hanover Theaters for Play. We actually also have a shopping mall nearby, the Blackstone Valley, and we're actually only located 1 hour from Boston, and the school actually provides free transportation for students into Boston and back. And now we're just gonna head outside, so follow me. All right, as you can see to the right of me over here, this is our new Performing Arts Center that's currently undergoing some construction. At the top of the hill, we have the Luth Heart Center, and over here to my left, we have the new Wellness Center that we like to call the Joe, where Brianna will be taking over. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Eddie, for passing that off. My name's Brianna. I'm a junior, and I'm a math and sociology double major with a Latin American studies concentration on the pre-med pre-health track. Just as a reminder, if you're watching this premiering live on YouTube, feel free to ask any questions you might have in the chat where Eddie, Beth, and myself will be there to answer them for you. Now let's head into the Joe. All right, welcome everyone to the Joe. This is our recently finished wellness facility on campus. It was finished just last summer and is now the home to all things wellness at Holy Cross. This is where you'll find workout classes such as Zumba, yoga, use of cardio and lift equipment for all students, as well as home to our intramural and club sports, which are pickup style recreational activities for students to take part in. This is a similar facility to up the hill, which is the Luth Athletic Complex, which houses our 25 varsity sports teams, 13 women's and 12 men's teams. In there we have an indoor turf practice facility, a full-size swimming pool, and multiple basketball courts, as well as an ice rink. As a student athlete, I can say that that's a perfect place for resources for all things athletics, for recovery, for practice, for games. And it's also a great way to get involved on campus. We have so many teams coming in the Patriot League. We are a Division I school, and that's where students go on the weekends to watch sporting events, support their friends, and show school pride. In this building as well, we house our public safety department on the basement floor. We are a very safe campus in a residential neighborhood off to the side of Worcester, and we're also a blue light campus, which means everywhere you turn, you should be able to see 2 blue lights. And if something is going wrong, if you find yourself in a dangerous situation or you feel uncomfortable, you can push the blue button, and in less than a minute, public safety will be there to help you. It helps students feel really safe in the neighborhood at night, alone on campus, walking back from the library. And we also have the Rave Guardian app, which is new. And that is another way where you can be in contact with public safety if you're walking back to your room at night and you just want to be sure that someone knows where you are so that you get from where you're coming to where you're going safely. Now we're going to head outside and go to the science complex. Welcome now to our integrated science complex. This building houses all of our STEM majors, so math, computer science, chemistry, biology, physics, as well as psychology, sociology, and anthropology in the social sciences. We have state-of-the-art lab facilities, as well as large lecture halls, pre-lab rooms, and other classrooms for students to be using. Something great about Holy Cross is that we have opportunities for students to complete research with their professors both during the school year and over the summer. And because we're solely an undergraduate institution, all of these opportunities are going to Holy Cross students getting to work very closely with their professors. Along with that, we have 3 pre-professional programs, a pre-health, a pre-business, and a pre-law program. I'm in the pre-health, pre-med program, which has specific advising and seminars and courses in order to take entry exams for medical school after your time at Holy Cross. The same is true for the pre-business and pre-law programs, where students have access to specific advisors, will get to speak with alumni about networking and internship opportunities, and will also have the chance to learn a little bit more about the field that they're looking to go into after their time at Holy Cross. These are great ways to get acclimated to a new field for your time after your 4 years at Holy Cross, as well as to enrich that experience with your education at our liberal arts school. Now we're going to head down to the atrium and talk a little bit about our study abroad and study away programs. Welcome to the atrium of the Science Complex, where you can see the Science Library, one of our many cafes on campus, and there's great study spaces for students here. Now we're going to talk a little bit about study abroad and study away. As much as students love their time at Holy Cross, in their junior year, many will choose to study either abroad for the semester, the year, or do a Maymester program, which is just for the month of May. For study abroad, we have opportunities in countries like England, Spain, Italy, Greece, and many more. For English-speaking countries, students will have the opportunity to live at a university in that country and be living on campus and taking classes there. And in non-English-speaking countries, students will have the opportunity to live with a host family to be fully immersed in the language that they're speaking, which is a great way to get to acclimate yourself to a culture that's different from ours in the United States. Students will have the opportunity to study abroad either for the semester or the full year, depending on the program and depending on their major. You need a 3.0 GPA in order to study abroad, and your GPA is frozen while you're not at Holy Cross, which means that the classes that you're taking in those other countries will not impact your Holy Cross GPA. Now, if maybe leaving the country isn't for you, Holy Cross also offers 2 study away programs in New York City and in Washington, D.C. In these programs, students will complete an internship as well as take a seminar, which is a great way to get yourself into a field of work that you may want to get into after Holy Cross. So I know some of my friends who have studied in Washington, D.C. have done law or government positions, and then I know lots of people do business internships in the study away program in New York. And if you maybe can't do study abroad or study away during the school year, we also offer the Maymester program, which is a month-long program where 15 to 20 Holy Cross students and a Holy Cross faculty member will go to another country, and you will take 1 class while you're there. It's a pretty fast-paced, immersive experience, but students have said great things about it. I know so many of my friends have done it. And now we're going to head over to Dinan Library and talk about study resources on campus. We've now entered Dinan Library, which is one of the largest study spaces on campus. This building houses over 60,000 volumes and 2,600 journals for students to use. However, if you're doing a research project for a class, writing a thesis or anything like that, and we don't have the book that you need, Holy Cross is also part of the Worcester Consortium and Interlibrary Loan Program. And anything that you need can be gotten through our circulation desk from one of the various schools in Worcester or other schools in the program. It's super helpful, and things will be sent right to your Holy Cross email so that you can print them out and use them for your projects. As well as study spaces, the library has our Academic Services and Learning Resource Center, the Writers Workshop, and the STEM Plus E-Workshop to help students with their class assignments and other study habits for their courses. There's tons of study space in this building, and it can house almost half of the student population at the same time. And floors get progressively quieter as you go down, so typically in the basement floor, in the stacks, students will study quietly alone, whereas there are study rooms for collaborative work and doing group projects, which is a really great way to study with your friends and your classmates and get ready for big exams. During the normal school year, it is open from 7:30 a.m. to 2 a.m., but during finals week, it's open 24/7. So students have access to it 7 days a week all year for studying and classroom purposes. There's also printing services, which are really helpful for students, and many computers to be used for have different softwares that you may need for projects and assignments. Now that we've taken a look inside Dinan, we're going to head down to Kimball, which is our main dining hall on campus. If you just take a look to my right, that's O'Kane, one of the most photogenic spots on campus. It's everyone's favorite place to take a picture when it's snowing, during the sunset. Looks great behind that clock tower. Now we're inside Kimball, which is the main dining hall on campus. This dining hall seats up to 800 students at once, and it's an all-you-can-eat buffet style eatery where most students come for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you have unlimited swipe access on the residential meal plan. There's tons offered in Kimball at all times of the day. We have a rotating kitchen, so you're not eating the same thing each day, which is really awesome, as well as it caters to any and all dietary restrictions you might have. Kimball has tons of vegetarian and vegan options, as well as a separate allergy kitchen for students who have nut allergies, celiac, and various other dietary restrictions. As I mentioned before, on the residential meal plan, you have unlimited swipe access, and it's an all-you-can-eat buffet style. So that's a really great option. And then for other eateries on campus, below this we have our lower Kimball food court, which is more like mall style dining. There is a burrito bar, there's a burger place, and as well as a pizza place down there. You have 8 swipes a week for that while you're on the residential meal plan. And then in Kimball too, if there's something that you love that you make at home that maybe isn't offered here, feel free to submit a recipe to our dining staff. They're always really good about making your favorite foods and sharing them with everyone on our special holiday dinners and other themed nights. Some people's favorites are Thanksgiving and before winter break, where we have tons of decorations. The environment here is awesome. Students will come, there's dessert bars and really cool different foods for you to try. And then aside from Kimball, students are given $425 dining dollars a semester on the residential meal plan to spend at our other eateries, such as Crossroads in Hogan, which is more late night style, the Pub, which is also in Hogan and does salads and grain bowls. There's a cafe in the Science Center, as well as 2 coffee shops on campus for you to spend that money. So there's tons of different places for you to eat, lots of different options, and you'll never be bored, and you'll always be able to find something you like. So that was Kimball, and we're gonna head outside now. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube premiere tour. As you can see, Holy Cross has tons of great resources to offer to students and has so many great aspects. My favorite is definitely the community that I've been able to build with other students, faculty, and staff. It's such a warm, welcoming environment, definitely makes the Hill feel like home. And I hope that you guys were able to see that through this tour today. Of course, if you have any follow-up questions or are looking for more information, feel free to check out the college website, our Instagram and Facebook pages, or email the admissions office. And we hope to see you on the Hill soon. Bye!